Hello aspirants, welcome to the Hi-Fi of the Day, Daily Current Affairs by Alchemy Ias Institute. I am Suhas and we are going to discuss the 5 most important news topic of the day. The story of Made in China 2025. It offers a significant insight and lesson for India's Make in India campaign. Made in China was launched in 2015. After the 10 years long strategic plan, that China upgraded from world's factory of cheapest goods to a high-tech manufacturing powerhouse. The goal was reducing reliance on foreign technology and lead in high-value sectors. The 10 key focus areas was electric vehicles, next generation IT, AI, aerospace, biotechnology and medical technology, advanced railways, green energy and power equipment, high-tech maritime and engineering, agriculture equipments, and new materials. So, how successful it was been? Made in China 2025 was achieved a substantial success in several key areas. That is in green technology, 75%, more than 75% of the global lithium-ion batteries production is in China. Approximately 80% of the solar modules production in China. World's largest EV output also in China. And high-speed railway, world-class engineering and export is there. Robotic and sensors, integrated supply chain is there. But some shortfalls are there, like semiconductors still rely on foreign technology, and commercial aircraft limited. Commercial aircraft in that case limited success. The success were limited, like compared to Boeing and Airbus. And in service sectors, it's overlooked in the pursuit of manufacturing. So, what are the lessons for India? India's Make in India campaign. We have to set a focused industrial goal. India's broad branding needs a sectorial strategies like making China's 2025 10 sectors focus, and develop integrated ecosystem like how China build local supply chain, policy support, land infrastructure, logistic, these things, and skill workforce. The Make in China 2025 upskilled millions. So India also need to large scale technical education and R&D investment. And balanced global concern. While India must support local industry, it must avoid anti-globalization signals. Attracting the FDIs like Apple in India needs predictable open policy regime. And avoid over-centralization. China's top-down approach worked because of its political model. India's democracy demands state-level participation, transparency, and public-private participation. And we should have a service manufacturing balance. India's service sector is strong. The goal should be to be complement it with a robust manufacturing base, not replace it. The Ministry of Road Transport and Highways announced on Tuesday that cab aggregators like Ola and Uber or Rapido may now charge customers up to twice the base fare as the maximum fare. So in this regard, we have to know what is dynamic pricing, what is surge pricing. Dynamic pricing is a flexible pricing strategy where the cost of the service or the product changes in real time based on market demand and supply conditions. Like when the demand increases, price goes up, and when demand drops, price falls to attract more customers. So already it is being used by retailers like Amazon, some airline tickets, railway flexi fares, like that. Surge pricing means it's a type of dynamic pricing but used to deal with extreme spikes in demand like during rain, rush hours or festival. So these are not same but almost the same. Surge price is a type of a dynamic price. So what is why they are using it? Why surge pricing? Why dynamic pricing? It will balance demand and supply. Like higher fares attract more drivers during the peak demand. During example for a raining time or late night, like that. In the case of Ola and Uber, okay. And efficiency increases, like encourage drivers to shift to high demand zones, and it ensure some availability of riders during the high demand periods, like when no cabs is available during a high demand period, at least some drivers should be available. Like it will incentivize, or like it will motivate the drivers to give the service. And flexibility for drivers, like help them self-schedule, like work more when earning are better. So why it is controversial? Because the customers often feel like overcharged, especially during the emergencies, and there is a low transparency about how the charges are calculated. These things are there. But what researchers says that the surge pricing actually subsidize lower fare during off-peak hours. Like it will feel like the price actually is down in off-peak hours. It's a psychological feel, and help companies like Ola and Uber serves markets that would be profitable under fixed rate, and encourage better drivers availability and responses. So what are the impact for India? It will definitely impact the customers, like the peak charges will be high, and driver impact will be there, more opportunity and more income will be there with self-scheduling, and regulatory role, like government still hold a power to over base fare implementation timelines and complaint redressal, all these things. Bihar is witnessing a renewed protest against Waqf Amendment Act 2025. Like despite the Supreme Court having reserved its verdict in May, what was it? What is Waqf Act and what are the changes in 2025? Waqf Act 1995 governs Muslim religion endowment, that Waqf properties such as mosque, graveyards, madrasas, charitable institutions. These properties are managed by the state Waqf board under the framework ensuring that they are used only for their intended religious or charitable purposes. In 2025, the government amended this act and it triggered a controversial and legal challenges on this. What are the amendments? What are the key objectives to the 2025 amendments? One is abolition of Waqf by use. That previously, if the property had long been used as Waqf, even without the formal registration, it could be legally treated as such, like formally, legally it is valid. But the amendment removed this provision, meaning only registered property can be claimed as Waqf. That potentially stripe thousands of old religious sites of legal protection. Then inclusion of non-Muslims in the Waqf board. The district collector's authority over Waqf land, like collector can declare Waqf property as government land. So this shift may fear enable state overreach and dispossession. And applicability of the limitation of act that put time limit on Waqf board can claim disputed land or fight encroachment, undermining effort to reclaim historical properties. So they are protesting, like what are the protested demand for reinstatement of the original 1995 Waqf Act and withdrawal of the controversial amendment, equal treatment. If they ask, like other religion also like have to prove the ownership of the centuries older places of worship. The central to gather support to remove the Justice Verma, judge of Allahabad High Court, after burnt notes have been found in his residence on March. So we have to know how the issue, let's keep it aside, like we have to know what is the procedure to remove a High Court or Supreme Court judge in India. First, the ground of removal. The judge can be removed only on two grounds: proven misbehavior or incapacity. And initiation of motion in the parliament. A motion for removing the judge must be signed by at least 100 MPs in Lok Sabha or 50 MPs in Rajya Sabha. And the motion is submitted to the speaker in Lok Sabha or chairman of Rajya Sabha. And admission of the motion, it's discretion of the speaker. Speaker may admit the motion or reject it outright. If admitted, next step is formation of an inquiry committee. A 3-member committee is constituted. One Supreme Court judge will be there, one Chief Justice of High Court, one distinguished jurist. This committee investigate the charges against the judge, and the committee submit the report on guilty of misbehavior or incapacity. And if not guilty, the procedure ends there. But if the report says that if guilty, the parliament vote on motion. The motion is debated and voted on both the house of the parliament. It must be passed with a special majority, that is in each house, that is the majority of total members of the house and 2/3 majority of the members present and voting. After the passage of that motion, it will go to the president, and if president gives the assent, the order of removal of judge is being passed. The judge will be removed. Interestingly, you have to note here, no judge having successfully removed in Indian history. Like there was a attempt for removal, like Justice V. Ramaswamy in 1993. But no judge has been removed, and this process is deliberately rigorous to preserve the judicial independence and prevent misuse. There was an article titled Endocrine Disruption in Plastic Waste, a New Public Health Threat. So what is this endocrine disrupting chemicals and microplastic? Endocrine acting chemicals, EDC, are chemical substances that interfere with the hormonal system and found in plastic, especially in BPA, PFAs, etc. It trigger hormonal imbalance. That means it is biologically active, affect fertility, reproductive health, and increase risk of chronic diseases like diabetes, cancer, and thyroid dysfunctioning. So, what are the plastic waste as health threat? Microplastics that less than 5 mm are now considered biologically active, inhaled or ingested, and found in blood, lungs, liver, breast milk, semen, testicular tissues, like 3 times more than Indian men versus dogs. That means, like, in Indian men, this microplastic are found in testicular tissues 3 times more than dogs. Health issues linked to EDC and microplastics: infertility, hormonal disruption, low sperm count, obesity, thyroid issue, cardiovascular diseases, cancer, these things. And in India's case, only 60% of plastic waste is recycled. 3.5 million tons go uncollected, polluted air, water, and soil. And the most vulnerable populations are such as waste pickers suffer worst exposure. Finally, current affairs drill question of the day. With reference to plastic pollution and its impact on human health, consider the following statement: EDC found in plastic can interfere with the hormonal imbalance and linked to obesity, diabetes, and reproductive disorder. India is currently generating more plastic waste annually than any other countries in the world. Microplastics are chemically inert and do not interact with the biological tissues once inside the human body. The informal recycling sectors and populations near waste dumps are disproportionately affected by microplastic exposure. Which of the statements given above are correct? The options are given here. Comment your right answer in the comment section.